Hi ho!
Hi ho!
We'll just claim fair use, right?
Yeah, no. Well, you could go. I mean, now that we've interrupted it, we could probably go another couple bars. Not another couple bars. Okay.
Oh, drinking because.
Hi ho!
So, good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or good evening,
Good
whatever
afternoon,
time of
good
day.
evening, and good night. With a nice big shit eating
Grin.
what's his name? Jim Carrey grin. He says that beginning of and a whole bunch of times in that Truman Show movie.
Oh, he was Truman.
He was Truman Burbank.
Yeah, that was a movie.
That was a movie, and now it's real life.
Right.
We're all reality TV. People probably would like to. I bet you if you watch that movie today, people probably watch that movie for like instruction to live in the reality TV dominated days that we live in these days. I think maybe.
But the thing is, like that Truman Show was more reality than any reality show that's ever existed.
This is true because Truman was not in on it.
Yeah.
Everybody else was in on it. Laura Linney and the other guy and fucking.
We haven't said who we are.
We haven't.
And
do
what
we need
this
to?
Is. Why don't you do that?
I
And then maybe
guess-
we can
I guess
resume
it
the
is-
conversation about what a Truman Show.
It is something that we tend to do. So I will say it because I am a creature of habit. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 138. I am Chris.
And I'm Steve.
And now we can continue talking
Good.
because
So people, I mean, somebody might have stumbled upon it and been like, well, they're talking about Truman Show.
Yes.
But they're not saying who they are, so fuck this.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's like it's not like the radio, Steve. I hate to break this to you. This is not exactly like the radio. So like if you stumbled across this, right, you would see our names in the like the description.
Yeah, but like they'd like to like right off the bat know which one of us is which.
They want to know what they're in for.
Yeah.
I tell my students this. I say you gotta set expectations for your readers.
GRATE expectations.
He's a little overrated. I'm just gonna say.
I spelled it wrong. You realize that. I did another great.
You did another like grading. Like I'm grading when I try to tell jokes. That kind of great.
Yeah, or a grate, like you would,
Oh, like a
sewer,
fireplace.
a sewer grate, or yeah.
Yeah, that's what they call them in Harry Potter.
What,
We went to
grates?
the wrong grate. I think they do that in like when they're trying to hook up in the fourth book when they're trying to connect Harry's uncle's fireplace to the Flu Network. They talk about grates, and maybe even in the second book when he goes one grate too far, because he says Diagon Alley instead of Diagon Alley. He doesn't say it clearly enough, so he ends up over in Nocturne Alley, which is she just has a thing for adverbs.
Oh, okay.
Truman Show is more real than anything else. That's what you were.
Yeah, I mean, like the way they have reality television shows set up is like everybody knows they're on a television show.
I'm not here to make friends.
Yeah. That could be the anthem of America.
Oh, stop. Don't go any further. Do not pass go onto the until you finish at least one of those beers.
Okay.
I'm
not here to make friends. I'm here to push shitty legislation.
I think that's quite the Monopoly chance card, right? Do not pass go until you've drank at least one Narragansett. I mean, not a generic beer here.
No, I am drinking Narragansett. Hopefully one day they'll listen and be like, wow, these guys are great. And we'll give them money to continue to talk about this beer that Steve drinks on almost every show.
Oh, speaking of, I have a beverage here that I have not cracked. I should do that. Modern American cider. Bantam Rojo.
Why are you bothering? We're not sponsored by that
Mildly
either.
sour with subtle cherry. It's gluten-free.
Yes.
Gluten-free.
All cider is.
What is a Bantam?
It's a rooster.
Oh, and is Rojo red? So this is the red rooster.
Yeah.
As opposed to the blue rooster. No, the blue blazer.
Foghorn Leghorn.
No, like red rooster.
I'll say you should open that and drink some.
I feel like red rooster might have been one of the many alternate identities of the wrestler whose real name was Owen Hart. He was the Blue Blazer, but I think he might have also been the Red Rooster.
Wow.
I'm drinking Owen Hart right now.
Former member of the Hart Foundation.
I don't know if he was.
He wasn't?
The Hart Foundation was Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Oh.
That was the Hart Foundation.
Well,
Owen Hart was like he was the little brother. He's the little brother of
which ones of them are dead?
Owen Hart. He was in the Blue Blazer harness when he fell.
Like from like the rafters.
From the rafters, hit his head on on either the turnbuckle or the pole the turnbuckle was connected to.
Well, shit.
It was a sad day. Like 1999-ish.
When I was up at the Arcadia National Bar, I'm going to specifically say what it is.
Yes.
What I'm talking about. I was in that place, and they had a beer company there called Foundation, and they had a little figurine, one of the
a
little wrestling figurine on top of it, and I'm like, that's very clever. The Hart Foundation.
That is pretty clever. For a second there, the way you moved your hand up above the computer and
it seemed like I actually have a beer tap right there.
No. It seemed like you were about to squeeze on a cow's udder, and I was like, oh, they use cow's udders for their beer dispenser.
They do. That's one of the great things about that. That's
one of the great things.
That's one of the great lies that I've told today.
They should trademark that. That should be a thing that they do. Make sure that they don't let anybody else.
We are so fucking angry. And people don't know why.
No, they don't know why. They can't know why. Just write us an email, and we'll. It's like for 5 cents and a self-addressed stamped envelope. We will send you the answer to why we keep talking about trademarks.
Yes,
it'll go to our legal defense fund.
Hey, you know what? If I was to refer to any sort of generic Coca-Cola or any generic cola as Coca-Cola,
yes,
do you think the Coca-Cola company would be upset about that?
I think if you, I think no.
All right.
I think they've got.
I'm just wondering. I'm spitballing.
I think they've got bigger fish to fry. Maybe in like some Coke.
Hey, it is
Coke glaze.
It is Lent. And so Fridays are you're supposed to eat fish.
Yeah, I got the impression that when you're Catholic, if you're like really Catholic, you're supposed to eat fish every Friday.
Like, well, yeah, every Friday. In fact, maybe you're not supposed to eat meat during Lent at all.
Oh, you give up stuff.
Except for on St. Patty's Day, where you eat like fuck tons of corned beef.
Yeah. Oh, and cabbage. Oh,
I do not like the boiled like we went out on St. Patty's Day Eve.
Yeah.
I didn't get a green beer, but I got a Guinness.
Yeah,
so that's a thing.
That's a thing. I've heard.
But I got corned beef. I got a Reuben. So
yeah, but no cabbage.
No cabbage. Well, technically yes, because it has
sauerkraut
on it.
Okay, but sauerkraut doesn't have the distinctly horrific smell that
boiled cabbage. Yeah.
I mean, I have a visceral reaction to that. So much so that when I heard that my dad was going to bring a couple of boiled dinners back from the bar on Friday night.
Where was he? They had boiled dinner.
I think they do it at the Legion, which is where he goes, and so he picked up a couple of them because Stephanie likes it. And it used to be when my grandmother was around, she would make it and
just stink up the whole. And it's March, and people in other parts of the country, south of here and whatnot, they can have a window open or whatever.
Yeah.
But
not us so much.
Well, it's actually been winter the last couple of weeks, which is kind of neat.
Yeah. Better late than never.
In February and March to actually have winter happen.
So when he announced he was going to do that, I looked at my calendar, at my schedule, and I was like, all right, I've been reading these plays all week for the Players Ring out in Portsmouth. I'm on their artistic committee this year, so I'm helping decide the season.
Or artistic?
What?
Artistic? You mumbled.
They're artistic. Although there was a play about autism amongst the
So it was art about autism.
There was a play called Art.
It was
in there too.
Autism.
So I was finishing up these plays. They needed to go on to the next person. This box of there's three boxes of plays that needed to be distributed between 9 people over the course of a month. We're getting close to the end, so I needed to get my box back. And I said,
Sorry.
No euphemism. So I said,
I
you know
don't think
what?
you should be referring to Steph as that anyways.
So I went ahead and I was like, you know what, Steph, what do you think of this idea? I'm gonna deliver the box back to the theater. I'm gonna go see the show that's up at the theater right now, and I'll just be out of the house so you guys can enjoy your corned beef and cabbage.
your smelly meat and
Yeah, and as it turned out,
cabbage.
Steph said it wasn't that great.
Well, really, like the
Which is-
leftover, like corned beef and cabbage from the American Legion wasn't.
No, I mean,
superb?
I think they were, the theory there is they were like making it fresh. They're making a bunch of it all day, so I don't think it was like that stale or whatever. It just
Yeah, but your
wasn't that
dad
great.
probably sat at the Legion had a couple while they was just sitting on the counter there,
Yeah, he may have.
so on the side of the bar.
I've heard from friends. So when I spent a lot more time out in Portsmouth, I had friends out there who were very Irish and very proud of their Irish heritage. And if you mentioned corned beef and cabbage to them, they would go on a rant about how corned beef and cabbage is not actually a thing that that most Irish people would eat. It's
It's not necessarily like the shit that we do in the United States for
Mm.
St. Patty's Day is like fucking probably. I
we
mean,
should be boiling fucking snakes, right?
yes. So yeah,
Get fucking Sam Jackson on that.
No, but like, I mean, I'm sure in Ireland they do different things. In fact, I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not. They don't wear green; they wear blue.
Okay, that makes sense.
I was wearing blue.
I read this week that St. Patrick was an immigrant, and that like somebody from Ireland, maybe who would it have been? I don't know. The Irish Prime Minister, let's say, was in a meeting or was referring to something that the Orange Fuckhead said, and was trying to get a little jab in there about how St. Patrick was an immigrant. I don't know anything about that, but apparently might have been.
Well, it probably went right over his head because he doesn't listen to people ever.
Yeah.
He
No.
He just has his own thoughts and like, yeah, whatever. Fuck him. I hate
You're
him.
not done with that beer yet.
I hate him. He is a piece of shit.
Yeah, so I saw a show on Friday, which was good.
What was the show?
It was called Hurly Burly.
Was it Irish related for St. Patty's Day?
No. It started.
Did they have green beer at the theater?
They did not have green beer. at the theater.
Did you have a green beer while you were in downtown Portsmouth?
No, I failed on every conceivable.
No, like I mean, or a Guinness.
No, I stopped at fucking Five Guys because I'm boring.
You like a burger every
I
once in a
do
while.
like a burger. I've had too many burgers this weekend, but I do like a burger, and I like when I'm feeling particularly stressed out, which I have been this week. I like comfort food. I like to know that I'm going to like it. I don't want to risk going someplace and having something shitty because that's just going to make my mood even worse. So I went
like
to
that
Five
Weird
Guys.
Al album.
Even worse, Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White.
That's the one you always bring up.
I know,
and
that's-
it's really
that's-
odd that that's the takeaway you got from
That
that
is the
album.
one that's that one.
Not the fat song or
I don't know. Maybe as a boy.
I think I'm a clone now.
I remember that one. That might be the other one that's in my my iTunes library. But no, Stuck in a Closet with Vanna White. I guess I just wanted.
That was one of an
was
Al
wish
original
fulfillment.
there.
Yeah. It was a pastiche of something, but I'd be hard pressed to say which band he was trying to send up, like in terms of their style.
He did one another. I think that was actually just an original, and then the one that he did was a pastiche on that album was Velvet Elvis,
Oh, okay.
which was sort of like the Police.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. Yeah. Well, he did. On what was it? Amish Paradise or was it Poodle Hat? One of those. After he got his vision correction and he didn't wear the glasses so much, he did a Nine Inch Nails one called Germs.
If that was on Running with Scissors. I
Oh,
believe.
that was. You're right.
We know too much about Weird Al.
Forgot. He's got a box set coming out.
we
or
were
something.
yeah we I was out the other. Or
You know who
last-
likes Weird Al?
men typically?
Lin-Manuel Miranda
Oh, he does.
of Hamilton, Moana, In the Heights fame. That
Wow.
guy.
Well, and
He likes him some Weird Al.
I do, but apparently I think I was out last night, and one of the things that was said one of the ladies there said was like, I'm tired of guys trying to convince me that Weird Al is funny.
All right, it's fair enough. That's if you're a lady out there listening to this and you would like to tell us why Weird Al is not funny, like I would love to hear. Not that you have to. I'm not saying you have to tell us that Weird Al is not funny. You don't need to justify your feelings about Weird Al to me. I understand that I am a white dude and that my feelings need to be validated too often. I'm not asking you to do that. I'd be curious to hear.
Could you stop backpedaling and just ask the question?
I'd be curious to hear if there's a female out there.
I'm sure they exist.
Don't use female as a fucking noun. Sorry.
I'm sure there's a lady out there.
I'm sorry.
Some broad.
No, I'm not saying to use any of those things. I'm just saying that when people,
I told those guys in the newsroom, never call chicks broads.
when I read a student paper and they start referring to women as females, why? I don't. It feels like a problematic term. A disrespectful term in my mind. But if they want to use it, if they want to take it back, they want to claim it, sure.
Why is that disrespectful?
Female as a noun referring to a dog, or referring to
a female dog, a female. If you're saying that female human over there,
yeah, that's we have words for that. A woman is a female human being. Now I understand maybe woman is an offensive term. Maybe woman is going to become a problematic term. Okay. But female, just even the sound of female, the sound of female as a noun bothers me. I'm not alone.
Okay.
There are plenty of female and male human beings that I am aware of who feel the same way.
All right. Well, this is the kind of nonsense that gets liberals in trouble. And alienates them from people that like what they do.
Alienates them from yeah, it is. It's alienates us from conservatives who are taking back the word female.
No,
who think that we're talking down to them by saying that they can't call themselves female.
Anybody can call themselves anything they fucking want.
Yes.
How about that?
Sure.
Even if it's a terribly offensive or racist thing or whatever the fuck they want to say, let them fucking say it.
Okay.
And let's fucking move on.
All right. But that
was ice.
I don't remember how I got off on that rant. I'm sorry.
We were talking about things, but like
like the play. No, the play.
Oh yeah, the play.
Going out for drinks or something.
You just went to a burger.
Oh yeah, I got a burger. No, it's a good play. The female characters. See, adjective, fine. Female characters were.
I think you should say the characters who were female.
Oh, the passive voice is awesome. The characters who were female, the characters who were female identified, they were all great. I get the sense that this can be, depending on how you do it, a very problematic play. Now, I use the word problematic there, not ironically, not trying to be an asshole. The guys in the play, the dude characters. The characters,
the ones with dongs,
the characters who were dudes, they are all uniformly assholes. They are terrible to the women in the play, and if done the wrong way, it could become a sort of celebration of treating women like shit. The play. I think if you were to sort of read it on a surface level, it could very much become just a sort of like let's really just like have fun looking at these characters who treat women like garbage. Instead, I feel like it was a very nuanced approach, and you got to see what dickheads and dipshits these particular guys were. This is Devi, hard, heavy,
and Devi.
Deep, dark,
super Devi
material, and it was fun. But yeah. And then, like yesterday, I went and saw with the family. I went and saw Beauty and the Beast, the opposite side of the spectrum. Was was nice and
So, what did you think about that gay character? In the
loved them.
Okay, which one's the gay character?
So have you seen?
I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast since the 90s.
Okay, but are you familiar with the sort of the sidekick character of Gaston? Gaston's sidekick is LeFou.
So the one that's like, no one does whatever it is that they do better than you, Gaston.
He's the generic, like later on Gilbert Gottfried would play essentially the same character except as a parrot in Aladdin.
Okay.
And three hyenas. It would take three hyenas to equal Gilbert Gottfried in The Lion King, and so they just keep getting more sidekicks as we go further on down the line. That was not a comment, by the way. On
At least it wasn't one toke over the line. You poor fool.
So LeFou, as played by Josh Gad. Who is the
snowman in
the snowman in Frozen? Yes, LeFou is the gay character. He's the reason that Russian children can't see this movie because it's now been rated 17 plus because it's a gay character. Yep.
Why do people hate homosexuality? I almost said homos. I just did.
You did.
Why do people hate homosexuality so much? It just doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I just because we were brought up that it was okay, or not necessarily.
I don't know that I was brought up.
We definitely weren't brought up, but like the people that we were surrounded with, as far as friends and whatnot, that's where you learn, acceptance and all.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
shit.
I went to a college where I would say, well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, all of my. With maybe one or two exceptions, all of my male friends at the college that I went to were gay men. I did not know any gay women that were out at that point, or were out to me. But I learned acceptance there, and it was not all that weird. And kids today learn it even younger. So I don't know. I guess Russians hate, or at least their president hate. Is he still the president? Is Putin still?
He's still the president.
Okay. Yeah. One can only hope. I don't know. Maybe I felt like didn't he like step down or some shit? No, like ages ago where he was. I don't know, and he came back. I don't fucking know.
When you have that much power, there's no way you're gonna step down unless someone takes you down.
At any rate, So it's a good flick. So one of the things that occurs to me is it did not get particularly kind reviews. Did not hurt its box office at all because families. We're out in droves.
Was it a tale as old as time, though?
This is a song as old as rhyme.
There was whatever. I don't fucking remember what it was. Just continue.
No, so it was not treated particularly kindly by reviewers. I heard at least one reviewer refer to it as boring. And, certainly there's the fair amount of cultural criticism about it being Stockholm Syndrome and why does this woman fall in love with her captor? I thought they did really good work in expanding that whole part of the story. And they did it in a not boring way because my kids were just as enthralled. They were on the edge of their seats. My older daughter, Kaylee, was tugging on my arm like every 5 minutes about something cool she was seeing in the story. But I was sitting there in between her tugging on my arm saying, all right, so they've addressed why the hell she would stay with this guy for as long as she does. They've addressed like why she might actually start to have feelings for the guy. And they do probably about as good a job as you could do with that particular story in 2 hours' time.
2 hours, ugh.
But most movies are 2 hours.
I know, but like, was there action? Like,
yeah, I thought there was a fair bit of action. And it was not
making out with a giant beast monster.
There was none of that. That was the one thing was lacking. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe that's what the reviewers were looking for.
They were looking for more like
more bestiality,
more beast on Belle action.
Beast on. Or Belle on Beast. I mean, it is a feminist movie.
Is it?
I don't know. Well, both Emma Thompson and Emma Watson in their interviews talk about it being
There's two Emmas in this film?
There is, yes.
Holy shit.
The Mrs. Potts is played by Emma Thompson.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Who plays the candle guy?
Oh my gosh, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What? Ewan McGregor?
Ewan McGregor plays the candle guy.
Not the original Obi-Wan who's dead.
No. They brought him. They brought his voice back to life.
Hey.
No, and Ian McKellen plays Cogsworth.
Sir Ian McKellen.
Sir Ian McKellen.
Too bad Patrick Stewart wasn't in it, because then like they could
he was
continue their bromance.
He was in Logan, which I also saw.
Which was great. I did see that movie.
I snuck in to see Logan after spending snuck in, meaning I squeezed it into my schedule. On Friday, I spent 3 hours at the fucking.
I would have been okay if you snuck into a movie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just explaining.
Like I think movie theaters are fine with that too, because if you buy a beverage or a beer,
you're okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind next time.
I'm sure they actually do want you to pay for the movie, but like
probably.
Yeah. But I don't think they're gonna like prosecute.
Yeah. The only problem I ended up having with Logan was I kept checking my watch because I had to go get my daughter off the bus. Had I not spent 3 hours at the fucking mechanic, I could have gotten to an earlier show. As it was, I had checked ahead of time if there was anything after the credits, and I was basically I was standing in the aisle as the final moments of the film were playing out, and then the moment that it went to black, I was running out the door for my car because I was barely going to make it in time to get my kid off the bus. So Logan, I have to see it again because I was so worried about fitting it in there. I shouldn't have done it, but it was going to be my only chance. I know I've watched a lot of stuff for a stressed out guy.
Yeah,
but I got a joke that I'm hoping I can say.
I'm letting you drive this week, apparently.
Apparently. Sorry, I guess it's therapy for me.
It's fine. Every once in a while, we need to have one of these episodes where you get to have a little bit of you vent a little bit, and I occasionally make a humorous quip or say homo accidentally,
and hopefully I don't step all over those moments.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't step over at least one of them, then people are like, oh my gosh, she's actually listening to Steve. What's going on? I took right before I came over here, because we were scheduling and I was grading and I was very stressed out. I had myself a therapeutic dose of Iron Fist.
Is that new?
Yeah, it's the new one. I'm glad. See, that did not turn into a sexual thing.
Yeah. We've been watching. Because they brought out some older episodes of MST3K and put them on Netflix. So
they're making new ones, right?
Yes, they're making new ones, and I think Patton Oswalt is TV's Frank. I believe.
Who's the other person?
She was on Buffy, and she was on some other thing.
Okay. But somebody, yeah,
she's got red hair, and I think. She's one of the villains.
Okay.
Although it's hard to say that they're villains, because they're basically, hey, whoever's up on the satellite of love or whatever they're calling it now, here's a shitty movie for you to watch.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah. So you've been watching that.
Yeah, we watched a couple episodes. We watched the first one was one that we actually have, because we have a few of the volumes of MST3K episodes. Yeah. And the first one we watched was Merlin's the Shop of Mystical Wonders or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's basically just like, it was made in the 90s, and what's his butt? Fuck, why can't I don't know. Now I'm regretting shutting my phone off.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck is that old fuck's name?
Who was on? I don't know.
He was
on the show, or he was in a movie.
He was in McHale's Navy.
Kevin McHale.
No.
Larry Bird.
What?
Robert Parrish. I'm stalling for your fucking phone to turn on.
Okay, look at.
Wait, all right. So
you could look it up.
Okay, somebody who was in McHale's Navy. All right, I will look that up.
No, but I can't just
you can't continue your anecdote because you don't know his name.
No, but it was. Why can't I fucking remember? Like, I suck with names. Not the movie, the show.
Ernest Borgnine.
There you go. Ernest Borgnine is basically okay. So this movie is so incredibly meta. It's like it's absurd. Mm-hmm. All right, it starts off and it's just like this old woman like using a Ouija board to like summon her dead husband or something to talk to her or something like that.
And is that Ernest Borgnine?
No. But then like it turns out like this kid is like, then it turns out to just be a movie that they're watching. Mm-hmm. Like, and the kid and his grandpa, and grandpa being Ernest Borgnine, the power goes out, and then the grandpa starts telling stories about Merlin and his shop of mystical wonders. Okay. And then he tells this like little, it seemed like a made for TV kind of movie. Mm-hmm. And then So he tells the story about like this Merlin opens up a shop in like this like area, and then
that's
like,
what he's been doing that time in the Sword and the Stone when he takes off for a while.
Yeah, he takes off for a while and goes to the 90s and opens up a store. And
he's heading for the 90s, heading for the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. That song was from 1989 because we were headed for the 90s.
Yes.
Living in the 80s.
Living in the 80s. Oh, okay.
Escape Club to rock you tonight. But yeah, like then like he opens up the shop, and then like this little kid wanders in, and then like the mother and then some other dude that she's dating. He gives like the dude some book, and it's like a magic book, but when you cast spells, it makes you older, and he gets like looking old.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then
he turned into Ernest Borgnine.
No, he didn't turn into Ernest Borgnine, but he did light a cat on fire.
Oh well, that's one of the first spells you learn. That's in a beginner's book of magic, grade 1.
But yeah, and then like he ends up like
Hermione's really
doing so much magic that he ends up killing himself, and then it's really weird and twisted stories, and it's like, oh, the kid's like, oh, I expected that to happen.
Yeah,
and then,
I expecto patronum that to happen.
And so then he tells another story about this monkey with little symbols that just kills people, which is from a Stephen King story.
On his paws?
No, it wasn't a monkey paw.
Okay.
But it was originally from like a Stephen King story, and then they turned it into a movie, which I forget what the name of it is, but they use clips from that movie because then like in this particular part of the story, everybody seems to be dressed like it's 1981.
Okay.
Instead of being in like the 90s again.
Yes.
And then
they're just heading for the 90s.
But then like well, not even close to the 90s. This is like, we're getting we just started Ronnie's first
millennium
term.
approaches.
Yeah. Is that
a
thing?
Yeah, I'm teaching that play, which is set in the early 80s.
Now, the story I'm about to tell you takes place in the early 90s, around the time of our limited skirmish with the Iraqis. So then like there's little bits of like Merlin like in interspersed in the story about him searching for the monkey, because like this robber shows up and steals this monkey and sells it to some other fucking like bric-a-brac shop, and then Merlin's just looking for it, and then the monkey's just like killing things. It kills like a dog and some other fucking thing, and then the guy
monkey.
Yeah, and then the monkey keeps on coming back, and then at the end, like the Merlin shows up and stops the monkey from murdering the entire family. But in the actual story, like the real movie or the real story, I think that Stephen King wrote, the monkey kills everybody.
Oh, of course he does.
Yeah.
It's Stephen King.
Stephen King doesn't have like happy endings.
No. I mean, maybe great Gordy, maybe Gordy gets published, but fucking LeChance needs to die for Gordy to get published. So it's never like a strictly happy ending. Spoilers for fucking The Body or Stand By Me.
Oh, and what was it? The Stand, that was sort of a happy ending.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the whole world fucking dies.
Yeah, but like then, like,
I mean, not all of them.
In the battle of good versus evil, like
Yes.
good comes up slightly victorious.
That's what I
in this particular row.
Yeah, it's and fucking what's his name survives. The
Gary Sinise.
Gary Sinise. Yeah. What happened to that guy?
There's probably some sort of clickbait article at the bottom of like some video game website that says why Hollywood won't hire Gary Sinise anymore.
The last thing I was aware of him in was he was the voice in the museum in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. There's a Captain America exhibit that the characters visit once or twice, and Gary Sinise's voice is the voice that plays as you approach particular parts of the exhibit.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It's good that he got a little bit of work.
Well, we've been actually sitting on Netflix for a little while. We watched like last weekend. We watched Love.
Oh, I hear good things about that.
Yeah, it's one of those. Sometimes I need to get up and walk around the room. That like the amount of awkward things that are happening on the screen.
Yeah.
And like, there's people like not your brother John, but other John.
Yeah.
He not your friend John, but
No,
my
but
friend
other John. Yes.
He doesn't like. He wouldn't watch that show
Because the
like,
awkwardness?
He hates that. Like we would watch like an episode of like Curb Your Enthusiasm or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he would fucking want to jump out the window.
Yeah, see, that maybe I shouldn't watch it then, because I can't do Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Well, it's not to the level of fucking.
all right. I can do awkwardness.
Of Larry David.
Yeah, I can do awkwardness. I like a certain amount of awkwardness, but.
But yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard of Paul Rust prior to. I mean, I had watched things that he was in. I didn't realize it was him.
Yeah.
But Gillian Jacobs was on Community, so I was familiar with her. And
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
is it like the second season?
Yeah,
now?
second season.
So it's not so far. See, that's the problem with some of the other Netflix series is they're so far in.
But the thing is, like these series,
I can't start them anymore.
Like like Love. I mean, the episodes are half an hour long. They're not an hour. And there's I think the first season was 10 episodes, and the second season's 12. So it's not an insane. You could actually in an afternoon watch the entire series.
Any more than 10, I feel like is too much. And so like I mentioned I'm watching Iron Fist. I didn't hate the first episode, but the reviews for Iron Fist have been uniformly terrible. And so I had all that in the back of my mind, and I'm watching the first episode, and I'm not that into it, and I'm kind of annoyed by at least one of the actors, maybe two. So I watched the first episode yesterday, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this. And then I read a thread on Facebook today where they're like, oh, it gets really good. I'm like, all right, so I'll watch one because everyone had left. I had to eat my lunch. I was done my work, and it wasn't time to come over here yet. So I said, I'll watch one. And it actually, like, I liked the second episode.
Wow.
So, but to get back to my point, the problem with every single one of the Marvel Netflix series is I think they're all like 13 episodes, and they should all be like 10.
Yeah, I mean, like the only one that I actually watched was Jessica Jones, and I already expressed my feelings about it. I was just annoyed by it the entire time.
Yeah,
I hated the villain. I hated Kilgrove.
Kilgrove, he's
whatever the fuck his name was.
Kilgrove.
Every time I've said his name, I think I've said it wrong.
And wrong a different way.
Yeah.
No, I like Jessica Jones, and I like the second season of Daredevil. I
didn't watch any of Daredevil, but everybody says that's the one that's really good.
That's the one that's really good, and the second season in particular has...
Is Bullseye in it?
Bullseye's not in the second season.
Was he in the first season?
No, he's not in the first season.
That movie was so bad.
Colin Farrell.
Was it Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell was Bullseye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was in the...
hey, Will Ferrell.
he was in the latest Harry Potter movie. Kind of, sort of.
The last one?
He was in, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh, yeah, that one.
He's in that one.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that he was in that movie.
That one's a decent movie. I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see. They're like making 5 of those, and I'm intrigued to see.
I like how they had Balls of Fury in there.
Oh, that guy.
Johnny Daytona or whatever the fuck his name was.
He's the No-Maj, the Muggle.
Yes.
He was pretty good. He's pretty good in that.
I don't like No-Maj.
No-Maj is, it's why? See, I feel like that's J.K. Rowling trolling we Americans.
Yeah,
because she's like, I get the British people call them Muggle, which is like, but Muggle is a fun word to say. You Americans, you fuck everything up. You guys are kind of call them No-Majes. And like the magical Congress of the United States of America, it's Makuza or something. It sounds like a fucking offshoot of the Japanese mafia.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the Yakuza,
and it's like Makuza?
The Japanese mafia took over the American magical community.
Yes, and that's why they keep everything on the down low. You can't marrying No-Majes and. Very, very. The statute of secrecy is even.
But the thing is, like, what year more. Is that? Like, what year?
1926.
Okay, so it's
something like that.
Maybe, like, in modern day.
Maybe modern day American wizards are not so bad off.
Yeah,
maybe.
I remember Brian, friend of the show, Brian with a B.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Brian. I remember in college he was very much into playing this Quidditch World Cup game.
Oh, he was one of them.
No, it wasn't like real life. It was
okay.
It was on the PlayStation 2, I think.
Okay.
And he was playing this game, and I think that there was a wizarding school in Salem, and you know, when you played them, you there was like pumpkins everywhere.
I think there's been a.
I'm like, why would the fucking wizards like go to Salem to have their wizarding school?
And that's the thing is, I think there's been a bit of a retcon there, because as far as I know, like in her, because I remember. And I'm reading the fourth book to the kids right now at bedtime, and they mention it in the Quidditch scene in that book that there's a Salem Witches Institute, but they never specifically say that that's where the kids are trained in America. So
it'd just be odd that, like, you know, of all the places that they could go in the United States, like Salem, Massachusetts.
Right. And so it turns out that that is not where the American school is. The American school is somewhere in the Berkshires.
Oh, it's
in Massachusetts, but it's out west in Massachusetts.
Well, I mean, there's more space out there too.
Yeah. You can kind of hide.
But
things
although it is a little bit more red out there, I learned that when we went to see John Falvey. Holy fuck!
Yeah. So I mean, maybe they're not as safe out there.
Well, I know the
Or
Berkshires are sort of like
she's trying to send a message that wizards are a little bit conservative.
Maybe. they're wrongly conservative.
They're closet conservatives
because like it doesn't make any sense for people who are poor to be conservative. It doesn't fucking make sense to me.
I saw some fucking headline or just even like a tweet, and I didn't explore it further because just the very notion of it made me angry about somebody asking him, the orange shithead. Orange fuckhead. Sorry.
Orange fucking Mc puts.
Hey, that's racist, and it was just St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, whatever. Or Mac. Is that Scottish?
Somebody saying to him something to the effect of, "You realize that it's the counties that voted for you that are going to be the worst off under this new plan, whatever plan they were referring to," and him basically saying, "Yep." And I don't know how much of that was accurate, how much of it was accurately transcribed, but it sounded accurate enough, and I was just like, I don't want to. Nope, don't want to hear about it.
I mean, it's true, but so like,
how many fucking
like
vacations?
us like complaining liberals, like, you know, most of us, you know, are going to be okay. Like the ones that are fighting for people that voted for this idiot. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah,
but they're not.
But yes, but somehow they're gonna blame us.
Yes, somehow they're gonna blame us for like the
even though we
foibles.
have no fucking power.
We have absolutely no power, and we can't do anything right now.
Oh, except with all of us liberal judges.
What liberal judges?
Well, the people who keep striking down his travel ban.
You mean the people that are following the goddamn Constitution?
Yeah, fucking liberals. I'm stepping into the shoes, the very uncomfortable shoes, which is probably why they're so uptight of the of the right. I got a role play here. I got to take one for the team and be the conservative asshole in this.
Wait, I went to like a holiday thing, and somebody brought up politics. I don't know what fucking asshole decided to bring up politics, but it's just the conversation came up, and like you know the people were like, "Oh, so excited about the new president." I'm like. And I'm just biting my tongue. I'm like, why? Like, and I'm like, our industry, like, what? Like, we get grant money from the government.
Yep.
And if they cut that, we don't have fucking jobs. Like, why are you happy about that? Like,
because they're gonna cut the fucking the wasteful National Endowment for the Arts.
Yeah.
And cut the endowment for the humanities. These fucking assholes who put fucking shit on things and call it art. I don't know.
Piss Christ.
Yeah. Which I mean, that's the statistic I've seen thrown out there a lot this week, and I'm gonna get the statistic wrong. And it's something about like if Melania fuckface. Sorry, she chose to marry into the fucking family. If Melania fuckface were to spend 10 days in something like some really minuscule amount of time in the White House as opposed to in Trump Tower, the money that we would save on her security detail would be enough to fund for the NEA.
All the things that they're trying to cut right now.
Yeah.
But he conned everybody. Like he complained about presidents taking vacations, and he's golfed every weekend. In fact, I think he's golfed more since being president than he did prior to being
Because he
president.
doesn't want the job.
Yeah, he didn't want the job. Like he got it, and he was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
So now he's just like, "I'm gonna fucking
Hand it over to Steve Bannon. Right.
No, hopefully. Well, not hopefully. Jesus Christ! Like, there's no good option.
There's no good option
in the string of survivors that are on the list. Like, well, I think they had a really good joke on what was it? The show The Last Man on Earth with what's his butt? Fucking
Yorick. And it's Capuchin Monkey. Oh wait, no, that's why The Last Man. The Last Man on Earth. I don't know.
You don't know that?
I know a fucking comic book that I just referred to. But
I can't remember names today.
I can't believe the news today. Oh boy.
I'm looking up things on
the iPhone.
Last Man on Earth. Last Man on Earth.
Sang a song today. Oh boy. Steve will find it over in Lancashire.
I'm looking at his face right now. Tell me the goddamn actor.
Last Man Standing. Last Man on Earth. Yorick. Why the Last Man? His monkey
Where's
is...
the goddamn...
what the hell is his monkey's name? Fuck.
Will Forte. God damn it.
Will Forte. I don't think that's the monkey's name, but that...
Will Forte is the guy that did The Last Man on Earth.
Oh, okay.
And...
Ampersand.
So there was an episode recently where like they basically went through the line of, because like it went through like everybody getting sick and dying in the world, and which is why there's only like in the first season there's the first couple of episodes are just Will Forte being nuts, and he watches like Castaway, and he's like, that's nuts that they would talk to ball, and then he has like a giant bar full of like sports balls with faces on them. And but then it's a funny show, and just oddly sad and depressing and funny. Like it's right up my alley.
Yeah.
And they like they had an episode where they were just like, and President Pence has passed away, and then like they keep on going through the line, like and President Betsy DeVos is now dead at such and such age, and then like they keep on going and going, and going, from like the virus or whatever.
Like Paul Ryan is a shithead, but wouldn't Paul Ryan be like? Could we survive Paul Ryan? Like if we got past the orange fuckhead and we got past Pence, would we then be at Paul Ryan?
I think Paul Ryan, yes. I think he's the next in line.
So we just need 2 impeachments.
But I think we could get one of them. I know we can get one of them, but I don't think Pence, no. Unless he was involved with the whole Russia thing.
Yeah. No. I mean, or he tries to electrocute a gay kid on live TV.
Is that a thing that happened?
Well, he believes in what the hell is the name of the therapy?
Electroshock.
He basically believes in shock therapy to cure people of gayness.
Okay, well, let's hope that happens, and then that he does it.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. I don't want even one gay kid to get electrocuted. Just, I suppose I would take one for the team. But
you're not gay.
I could.
You could just say that you are again.
I'll be the gay guy to get sacrificed on. I'll do that.
But then who am I going to do the show with?
Good point.
Your brain turns into Jello.
Could you like download me onto my phone, like my consciousness?
Like a Chris soundboard,
just
interrupting me every once in a while when I'm trying to make a joke,
stepping over your jokes, telling the same 4 or 5 sex-related anecdotes.
Well, I could pull Ryan back in and into the fold. And
let's do an episode like that. Well, like I won't actually be on it. I'll just be manning the soundboard, and I'll just go tap. Like,
hate to interrupt you guys, but I've got something important to say. Oh, what is it, Chris?
And then like 3 episodes later, we're like, by the way, you remember that episode like 3 episodes back? Well, he lost his voice, and he was hitting a bunch of buttons, hitting more buttons.
This is not a soundboard.
This is not a soundboard. Capture that right there. That's gonna be.
That was what they did on Ron and Fez, like when Fez was out for a while, and
Yeah.
they had him record a bunch of clips of him like just soundboard Fez, and then when he came back, like Ron kept on using the soundboard Fez even though he was still there.
This is not a soundboard. Yeah. Out of all the things that were on our theoretical list,
I don't even think we looked at the goddamn list.
No, not at all. There were two that that are on there. One of them relates to a request, like that people actually wanted to hear about your D&D, and the other one was the guy who created Garbage Pail Kids died. But we still have too many episodes where we talk about people dying.
How many minutes do we got left?
10.
10 minutes. I don't know if I can talk about let's wait till next week and see how this whole particular part of our adventure plays out.
Yeah,
because we've been in the same dungeon for the past couple of weeks.
Okay,
and I've been a nudge.
Yeah,
at least my character has.
Yeah, so it's you're collecting stories here that we could cram into one episode as opposed to interspersing it throughout.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, the others in the group recently, they fought a basilisk.
No,
and I was not on board.
Yeah.
And I sat it out. My character is not a brave person.
Yeah.
And
he's Professor Lockhart.
Well, he's a little guy. I'm a little halfling.
You're a little Professor.
I'm
Lockhart.
3 feet high.
You're like Vern Troyer. He played Professor Lockhart.
No, I'm a little bit taller than Vern Troyer.
Okay, you're Warwick Davis.
Yes.
Is he taller?
I think Warwick Davis is taller than Vern Troyer.
Okay.
And he's definitely a cooler individual.
Yes, he is also that. So Warwick Davis. So if you had, instead of Warwick Davis playing Professor Flitwick, Warwick Davis was playing Professor what's his ass, who tries to memory charm Ron and Harry, then you wouldn't want to face the basilisk. You'd try to send in your students to go do it for you.
Right.
But
yeah, so I mean, I didn't do that. I just said I wasn't going.
Oh, okay.
I just sat on a giant stone throne and waited for them to come back.
Ooh, a stone. Oh, not an iron throne.
Not an iron throne.
No. Ugh, can't wait for that show.
Yeah, but in the summertime.
Yeah,
but
when the weather gets hot.
I'm not gonna think.
This is not a soundboard. You just have to be able to set it up, right? So you have to remember what the soundboard is, so that you can say something like in the summertime.
Another thing that came up recently,
the button,
like a theme park or a water theme park that a bad name for one, and I think there's one that was called Water Whiz.
Water Whiz. That's in. Isn't that one in? Oh shit! There's a movie. That had Steve Carell, not Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, Steve Carell.
Steve Carell, and was the asshole boyfriend of the mom, and the kid was sneaking off. This was set in Wareham, just off Cape Cod, and I think it might have been called Water Whiz.
Just off Cape Cod at the Water Whiz.
At the Water Whiz.
I mean, it's pretty much assumed that everybody's pissing into the pool anyways, but...
Yeah, if you go with a name like Water Whiz, it's kind of it's right on the tin, as they say.
Right.
Or not in the
But I imagine Water Country is just
it's a very cool spot.
It's probably just as shitty as Water Whiz.
Shitty?
Have you taken your kids to a water park?
I have not taken my kids to a water park. I've taken them to Santa's Village, which has a water park in it.
And Canopy Lake Park has a water park in it.
Canopy Lake. What a fucking shit show that is.
You don't like Canopy Lake?
I don't like Canopy Lake at all.
Why not? I didn't realize you had strong feelings against Canopy Lake.
We have talked about this in the past. I think Canopy Lake has no system for managing the lines that they get. And
so we usually only go in the fall, which there isn't as much as far as the amount of people coming in.
Yeah.
Or the last couple of times I've gone were in the fall and during a work outing.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
last couple times I went were with my mom's work, and it was not quite the fall. It was end of summer, beginning of fall.
When we went for my
and
work,
it was during the day.
When we went for my work outing, and I remember fucking we went to we left and we were gonna go back, and we went to the little game store in Salem, New Hampshire.
Yes.
And we were playing Magic, and then my friend Sarah, who was meeting us there, after she got out of work, she
was she gathering the magic?
No, she was very upset that we weren't there to
okay.
give her ticket so she could get in. And
shit.
and I was flipping out. Everybody else seemed to give no shits. And I was the one where the person she took out of her rage on, and it was pretty hilarious.
Poor Steve.
Yeah, it was.
Did she get in eventually?
She did because I'm like, we need to fucking go back. She's there.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, I gotta fucking play Magic, and I'm like, what? Let's go.
I don't know. I'm not. I like when I think about the rides that I like when I've gone to Disney World, for instance. Like I like a lot of the dark rides, the slower rides that have story type stuff. And Canterbury has one of those.
The Haunted Mine, which is great.
The
boulder falls on you.
And I can't get my kids to go on anything even remotely thrilling. So the last couple times we've went.
Is there a thriller ride at Disney?
I mean, I'm talking like a roller coaster. Like I can't even get them to go on, like if there was like a little kids roller coaster, they wouldn't go on that. Like they don't want to go on anything, which has become a bone of contention as we sit here and talk about a couple of years down the line going back to Disney World, and they say, what's the first ride you would go on? And they can never name one. I'm like, are you going to go on any rides? And I'll rattle them off, and they'll say, nope. I'm like, right, so we're not going. And then they'll be, no, but I want to go. Well, you're gonna have to ride some fucking rides if we're gonna spend, thousands of dollars.
I hope you phrased it that exact way.
I dropped
you better go to fucking rides, or else you're not fucking going to Disney. You goddamn brat.
No, I did not throw any of that in there. But thought about it. Does that count? If I thought the swear and I edited it out.
Yes.
Okay. Good. It counts. I'm glad. No, I don't know. I don't know why I have a Canopy thing. It's just, it's fun when you go.
Let's go this. You should come this fall when we go.
It's fun when you go with somebody who actually wants to go.
I'll go on rides. We can hold hands and skip.
You promise?
Yes. Although Mike Pence might try to electroshock us.
He might.
If we're doing that. They're like, we see these. He's like got a fucking satellite, and he's like, these two fucking guys
They're fucking holding hands.
Skipping around Canopy Lake Park.
Which do you think bothers him more, the skipping or the holding of the hands?
Both.
It's cumulative.
Yes, I mean, it's the tax on above.
Could you?
I could.
If he was kind of okay. So if we engineered a whole situation where he got locked in a bunker, right? He got locked in a bunker and he had like this big TV screen in front of him, and the TV screen was theoretically to monitor the situation going on outside of the bunker. Mm-hmm. But then we hacked the screen to show him nothing but gay porn.
Hack the planet.
Could we make his head explode?
I don't know if that would actually make his head explode.
And did me just suggesting that mean that the Secret Service can come after me?
No.
Okay. It's just all hypothetical.
Yeah, we're all hypothetical here, and hopefully we don't get into this situation.
Okay. I mean, I like the idea of.
I don't think you can make a man's head.
I like the idea
spontaneously
of a
combust
head exploding
because they're watching something on television. I mean, there's been shows that I've watched in the past that like any sort of reality television. Beyond the
Truman Show.
Beyond the
bringing it back.
Yes, look right to the beginning of the show. Beyond the original real world, like most reality
this
television
is what happens.
Makes me want to have my head explode, but it's never actually happened. So I don't think that could actually.
At what point?
But the thing is, like, why wouldn't he just turn off the television?
No, because he's got to monitor the situation. So
he's got to monitor the situation of people having
there's
gay
no
sex.
off switch on the TV. The TV is like.
Couldn't he go into another fucking room?
No, he's got to stay in there for his own safety. The TV is self-sustaining. It's got a little nuclear bomb in the back of it. Not bomb, but like a nuclear powered device, so that it doesn't need any outside energy. It stays on. There's no off switch.
Was this cold fusion? Like if they figured this out,
sure.
Why the fuck are we still putting gasoline in our cars?
I don't know. But no, he can't turn.
I need fuel.
He can't turn. It's got a Mr. Fusion on the back. No. It's piss powered. It's piss powered. So if he no, yeah. So every time he takes a piss, it gives more power back to the TV. So if he wants the TV to go off, he has to go on a piss strike.
Okay, so like the piss is just like piss being nearby is making the TV powered?
No, when he goes into the urinal, like
why doesn't he just piss in a jar or something like that?
He could piss in a jar. Maybe it does it through omniscient, fusion, something.
Fusion?
No. What is that? When it omniscient? No. When it's absorbed out of the air, that shit. Hey, the more important, we've only got like 8 seconds left. So
okay.
like, I gotta ask you, when did the real world stop being real?
After the first season.
Oh, just the first season.
Actually, maybe the second. I think the second was the Puck one, right?
No, Puck is season 3.
Okay, so maybe after season 3 of the real world.
Season 3, okay.
Because then I think they stopped like just filming constantly, which is what they were doing.
Yeah,
and it was actually reality television.
Right. I watched through season 3, and then season 4 I think was in London, and I didn't watch that one. And then I stopped.
Did they ever do one in Boston?
They did. They did do one. They did one in Boston that was they converted a fucking firehouse. I remember that.
And it was like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, a little bit. And I think the one where it went like completely batshit crazy was when there was a woman with Lyme disease. Like that's the excuse. Like she had Lyme disease, but she had like really like bad effects from Lyme disease.
You can have really bad effects from Lyme disease.
And she had sort of a breakdown on TV, and that's when it got like really not so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where can you find the show notes,
you got a
Chris?
Beeper? What are you, a drug dealer?
I had a beeper. I was not a drug dealer or a doctor.
That was for the that was the line from the first season. Good old Julie.
Okay. Where can you find the show notes?
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/138. If you have anything you'd like to add to this week's proceedings, which we would then read next week, you can send that to hot@clarkwoods.com.
You're welcome.
And if you'd rather send us a tweet, you can do that too. I'm at ECC1977.
And I am at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday, IS Loser, all one word. Well, that was a pretty good show, except for parts of it that weren't.
Yeah.